Gennady Golovkin.
Gennady Gennadyevich Golovkin is an undefeated Kazakh boxer who competed in the middleweight division at the 2004 Summer Olympics and won the silver medal. He is the current WBA and IBO middleweight champion. With an 89.65% knockout percentage rate, Golovkin holds the greatest KO ratio in middleweight championship history and is first amongst all active current and former champions, and third in overall championship history. He has never been knocked down or knocked out in over 375 fights, both as a professional and amateur. He is the member of Astana Presidential Sports Club. Golovkin was named Fighter of the Year of 2013 by the readers of The Ring magazine.
Early life.
Gennady Golovkin was born on April 8, 1982, in Karaganda, Kazakh SSR, now known as Kazakhstan, as one of four brothers to a Russian father who was a coal miner, and a Korean mother who was an assistant in a chemical laboratory. His older brothers, Sergei and Vadim, had pushed him into the ring. When he was 8, both of them joined the Russian army. In 1990, Gennady's brother Vadim was killed in action. In 1994, Sergei was also killed in action. There were no details given by the government officials and there was no funeral for either. Both brothers were lost before Gennady had turned 14. Golovkin however pressed on and used the family tragedy as motivation to continue fighting. Golovkin had been throwing big punches all his life. Growing up, Sergei and Vadim would walk the streets with Golovkin and pick men out of a crowd. "Are you afraid of him?" they would ask Gennady. When he said no, they told him to go get into a fight. Sometimes they wrestled, sometimes they boxed, sometimes they just threw punches. "My brothers, they were doing that from when I was in kindergarten," Golovkin said. "Every day, different guys."
Amateur boxing.
He was a scholarship holder with the Olympic Solidarity Program since November 2002. At the 2003 World Amateur Boxing Championships in Bangkok, he won the gold medal beating future two-time champion Matvey Kiribov, a US, 1910, Andy Lee, 29-9, Lucian Butte, stoppage, Jordanis Despain in the semi-finals, 29-26, and Oleg Marskin in the finals. At the 2004 Summer Olympics he beat Ramadan Yasser Abdulgafar 31-20 and Andrei Darel 23-18, lost to the Russian Gaidarbek Gaidarbekov 18-28 and won the silver medal. He qualified for the Athens Games by winning the gold medal at the 2004 Asian Amateur Boxing Championships in Puerto Princesa, Philippines. In the final he defeated home fighter Christopher Kamat. At the World Championships 2005 he sensationally lost to Muhammad Haikal. He finished his amateur career with an outstanding record of 345-5.
Amateur highlights.
2001 The Junior World Championships in Budapest, Hungary as a light welterweight. Results were: defeated Hao Yen Kuo, Chinese Taipei, RSC 3, defeated Alexander Renz, Germany, PTS, 26-7, defeated Benjamin Kalinovic, Croatia, PTS, 21-10, defeated Evgeny Putilov, Russia, PTS, 24-10, defeated Michael Perez, Cuba, PTS, 30-17, defeated Hao Yen Kuo, Chinese Taipei, RSC 3, defeated Alexander Renz, Germany, PTS, 26-7, defeated Benjamin Kalinovic, Croatia, PTS, 21-10, defeated Evgeny Putilov, Russia, PTS, 24-10, defeated Michael Perez, Cuba, PTS, 30-17, 2002 won the Asian Games in Busan, South Korea as a light middleweight. Results were: defeated Abdullah Shakib, Afghanistan, AB1, defeated Najimuddin Adam, Qatar, RSC01, defeated Song in June, South Korea, PTS, 18-12, defeated Surya Prasad Hinpamai, Thailand, RSC03, defeated Abdullah Shakib, Afghanistan, AB1, defeated Najimuddin Adam, Qatar, RSC01, defeated Song in June, South Korea, PTS, 18-12, defeated Surya Prasad Hinpamai, Thailand, RSCO 3, 2003 won the World Championships in Bangkok, Thailand as a middleweight. Results were: defeated Matvey Kiribov, Russia, PTS, 19-10, defeated Andy Lee, Ireland, PTS, 29-9, defeated Lucian Butte, Romania, KO4, defeated Jordanes de Spain, Cuba, PTS, 29-26, defeated Oleg Mashkin, Ukraine, RSCI 2, defeated Matvey Kiribov, Russia, PTS, 19-10, defeated Andy Lee, Ireland, PTS, 29-9, defeated Lucian Butte, Romania, KO4, defeated Jordanes de Spain, Cuba, PTS, 29-26, defeated Oleg Mashkin, Ukraine, RSCI 2, 2004 middleweight Olympic silver medalist as a member of the Kazakhstani Olympic team. His results were: defeated Ali Ahmed Khan, Pakistan, 31-10, defeated Ramadan Yasser, Egypt, 31-20, defeated Andre Darrell, USA, 23-18, lost to Gaidarbek Gaidarbekov, Russia, 18-28, defeated Ali Ahmed Khan, Pakistan, 31-10, defeated Ramadan Yasser, Egypt, 31-20, defeated Andre Darrell, USA, 23-18, lost to Gaidarbek Gaidarbekov, Russia, 18-28.
Professional boxing. Contracted to Universum.
After ending his amateur career in 2005, Golovkin would sign a professional deal with the then massive Universum box promotion, UBP, and made his professional debut in May 2006. By the end of 2008, Golovkin's record stood at an excellent 14-0-11, and whilst his best win was over Ian Gardner, it was obvious that he had the talent to reach the top as long as he was let off the proverbial leash. Unfortunately, under Universum, that didn't seem likely to happen anytime soon, and Golovkin was given 4 more relatively easy bouts in 2009. In 2010, Universum started to run into financial issues after having been dropped by German television channel ZDF. This caused a number of issues for Golovkin, who was effectively unable to fight in Germany, and contract disputes between the two parties got complicated. Golovkin terminated his contract with Universum in January 2010, stating in an interview, "The reason for this decision is that I've always been placed behind Felix Sturm and Sebastian Zbik by Universum. Our demands to fight against Felix Sturm or Sebastian Zbik have been always rejected on absurd grounds. Universum had no real plan or concept for me, they did not even try to bring my career forward. They would rather try to prevent me from winning a title as long as Sturm and Zbik are champions." Furthermore, bouts against well-known and interesting opponents were held out in prospect, but nothing happened. The situation was not acceptable. It was time to move forward.
Signing with K2 and training with Abel Sanchez.
Golovkin was determined to become a worldwide name, dreaming of following in the Klitschko brothers' footsteps by fighting in Madison Square Garden and Staples Center. He signed with K2 and went into training in Big Bear, California, with Abel Sanchez, the veteran trainer behind a Hall of Famer Terry Norris and many other top talents. Sanchez was stunned by and impressed with Golovkin's talent and attitude from their first meeting. He has since then worked to add Mexican-style aggression to Golovkin's Soviet-style amateur discipline, thereby producing a formidable hybrid champion. "I have a chalkboard in the gym, and I wrote Ali's name, Floyd Mayweather's name and his name," Sanchez said. "I told him, who could be right there. He was all sheepish, but once I felt his hands, and I saw how smart he was in the ring and how he caught on. Sheesh. He's going to be the most avoided fighter in boxing, or he's going to get the chance he deserves."
Winning the WBA middleweight title.
On August 14, 2010, Gennady Golovkin got his first major middleweight title. He won the vacant WBA interim middleweight title, defeating Milton Nunes by first-round KO in Panama City, Panama. He was later promoted to the status of WBA regular champion after the current champion at the time Felix Sturm was promoted to super champion by the WBA.
Title defenses.
In December 2010, he made his first successful WBA title defense by defeating Colombia's Nilson Julio Tapia via KO in the third round. In Golovin's first fight of 2011, he defended his belt against former IBF light middleweight champion Kasim Umar, defeating him in the 10th round by TKO.
Dual champion, winning the IBO middleweight title.
In December 2011, Golovkin fought against two-time world title challenger Lawan Simon for the vacant IBO middleweight title. Simon had never been stopped before and Golovkin floored him with a left hook in the first round which he was unable to get up from, winning his second world title in the process.
Defending the WBA and IBO belts.
Golovkin successfully defended his WBA title for the fourth time and IBO title for the first when he took on and defeated Japan's Makoto Fujigami, earning a TKO victory in the third round. Both of these fights were broadcast on Box Nation, exposing Golovkin to English viewers who were impressed with his performances.
HBO debut and fighting in America. Golovkin vs. Proxa.
Golovkin put on an impressive performance in his American debut on HBO by battering, at the time, the ring's number 10 rated middleweight Gennady Proxa, 28-121 KO, until a stoppage was called in the fifth round, becoming the first one to TKO or KO him. In October when Super WBA middleweight champion Daniel Geale signed to fight Anthony Mundin in a rematch, the WBA stripped Geale of the title and named Golovkin the sole WBA champion at middleweight.
Golovkin vs. Rosado.
Golovkin followed up his Proxa win with a TKO victory over the ring's number 9 rated junior middleweight Gabriel Rosado, 21-513 KO, on the HBO Salado Garcia card in the co-main event. The fight was halted when Rosado's corner threw in the towel to save Rosado, who was battered and bleeding heavily from his nose and left eye.
Golovkin vs. Ishida.
On March 30, 2013, Golovkin became the first person to knock out former WBA interim super welterweight champion Nobuhiro Ishida, 24-8-29 KO, finishing him in the third round with a vicious overhand right.
Golovkin vs. Macklin.
On June 30, 2013, Golovkin successfully defended his titles against Matthew Macklin, 29-420 KO. Many people felt that this fight would be the toughest of Golovkin's career, against a two-time world title challenger and Ring Magazine's number 5 rated middleweight to retain his IBO and WBA belts, but as it turned out the powerful boxer had absolutely no trouble dispatching of Matthew Macklin. From the opening bell, Golovkin was the more aggressive fighter, landing more punches and with significantly greater power. In round 3, Golovkin closed the show with a picture-perfect left hook to the body. Golovkin set it up perfectly, trapping Macklin against the ropes, creating the opening with an uppercut, then blasting the body with a hook to the liver. The tough Macklin went down hard and didn't even come close to making it back to his feet. Golovkin's victory over Macklin earned him a spot as one of the very best in the division.
Golovkin vs. Stevens.
On November 2, 2013, he successfully defended his titles against the ring's number 9 rated middleweight Curtis Stevens, 25-318 KO, via an 8th-round technical knockout, methodically breaking down the latter with many ferocious punches to the head and body. Stevens went down hard in the second from 2 left hooks to the head, and after watching their fighter absorb enormous punishment, Stevens' corner called for a halt in the 8th. The event captured huge interest around the world, with it being broadcast in more than 100 countries worldwide, including Sky in the United Kingdom, Channel 1 in Russia and Polsat TV in Poland. The win was Golovkin's 15th straight stoppage victory and further cemented his status as one of the greatest finishers in the middleweight division. Golovkin's camp made a request for Golovkin to become WBA super middleweight champion in December 2013. but this was refused by WBA due to the fact that Golovkin was already granted special permission for a fight prior to his mandatory commitment.
Golovkin vs Ousmane Adama.
Golovkin's 10th title defense took place in Monte Carlo on February 1, 2014 against former title challenger Ousmane Adama, 22-3-16 KO, which he won by 7th round stoppage. At the end of the first round, Golovkin dropped Adama with a solid jab and right hand. Golovkin went on to drop Adama again in the 6th by landing 2 sharp left hooks to his head, and then again in the 7th with a hard jab. Golovkin then nailed Adama with a left hook to the jaw, sending Adama staggering and forcing the referee to stop the bout.
Golovkin vs Chavez Jr.
On July 19, 2014, Golovkin will face Mexican star and former world middleweight champion Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. This fight will be a non-title match and will take place at the Forum, Inglewood, in California. The fight will air on HBO pay-per-view, making it the second time Chavez Jr. has headlined a major PPV event, the first being against Sergio Gabriel Martinez.
Personal life.
When not training at Big Bear, California, Golovkin lives in Germany, where he moved to in 2006. He and his wife Alina have a son named Vadim, who is in primary school. Golovkin can speak 4 languages: Kazakh, German, Russian and English. He has a fraternal twin brother named Maxim, who was also a talented amateur boxer and joined Gennady's camp and team in 2012.
Professional boxing record.